If you are not making mistakes, then you are not making decisions. Catherine Cook. So responsive web design courses: basic HTML and HTML5, basic CSS, applied visual design, applied accessibility, responsive web design principles, CSS Flexbox, CSS Grid, responsive web design projects. Time to put your newly learned skills to work. By working on these projects, you will get a chance to apply all of the skills, principles, and concepts you have learned so far: HTML, CSS, visual design, accessibility, and more. Complete the 5 web programming projects to earn your responsive web design certification. Build a tribute page. So objective: build a CodePen.io app that is functionally similar to this. So if you open this link, so we have to create a similar web page like this. So like this. Fulfill the below user stories and get all of the tests to pass. Give it your own personal style. So what is user stories? In software development and product management, a user story is a informal natural language description of features of a software program. You can use HTML, CSS, JavaScript to complete the project. Plain CSS is recommended because that is what the lessons have covered so far, and you should get some practice with plain CSS. You can use Bootstrap or SASS if you choose. Additional technologies, just for example, jQuery, React, Angular, or Vue are not recommended for this project, and using them is at your own risk. Other projects will give you a chance to work with different technology stacks like React. We will accept and try to fix all issue reports that use the suggested technology stack for this project. Happy coding. So build of CodePen.io. So the best CodePen.io is the best place to build, test, and discover front-end code. CodePen is a social development environment for front-end designers and developers. Build and deploy a website, show off your work, build test cases to learn and debug and find inspiration. So get quick started from any framework, libraries, and design patterns. So loved by the hundred of team: Airbnb, Netflix, Microsoft, IBM. So we can sign up for free. So sign up with Google. Your name, I think. So this is the name, username this, email this. If you submit, hold on your butts. So this is the first pen interface of a code pen. The tool to use the pen editor. The pen editor is to help you get this tool is to help you get started using code pen editor. We will start creating an example pen. A pen is what we call a demo you create in the editor. We will show you how to do things like add code and see the previews, change settings and change the layout. So ready, it's about 2 minutes long thing. Let's go. So this is a HTML editor. We can add HTML in here. You do not need or doc type HTML or anything. We add that. The code pen add that for you. And this is a CSS editor. Let's add some CSS to our CSS to style our document. So next you can see the result of your code in the preview pane. It will update as you change the code in the editor pane above. Pretty neat, huh? Next, so you can add JavaScript here. This JavaScript will be inserted at the bottom of the document, so DOM will be ready, as they say. Next, so this is the quick starter tool on how to use codepen.io. So if you close this, leave. So user stories number 1. My tribute page should have an element with corresponding ID main, which contain all other element. User stories 2. I should see an element with a corresponding ID title, which contains a string text, for example text that describes the subject of the tribute page, example Dr. Norman Borlaug. User stories 3. I should see a div element with a corresponding ID image div. User story number 4. Within the image div element, I should see an image element with the corresponding ID image. User stories 5. Within the image div element, I should see an element with a corresponding ID image caption that contain textual content describing the image shown in image div. User story 6. I should see an element with a corresponding ID tribute info, which contain textual content describing the subject of the tribute page. User story number 7. I should see an A element anchor tag element with a corresponding ID tribute link, which links to an outside site that contains additional information about the subject of our tribute page. Hint: you must give an element an attribute of target and set it a link to underscore blank in order for your link to open in a new tab. For example, target is equals to underscore blank. User story 8. The image element should be responsibly resizable relative to the width of its parent element without exceeding its original size. User stories number 9. The image element should be centered with its parent element. Within its parent element, you can build your project by using this code pen template and clicking save to create your own pen, or you can use this CDN link to run the test in any environment you like. So this is the link. Once you have done, submit the URL to your working project with all its test passings. So using this code pen template. So hello camper, please read the readme below in the JS editor before beginning. Feel free to delete this message once you have read it. Good luck and happy coding. Coding important readme. You may add additional external JS and CSS as needed to complete the project. However, the current external resource must remain in place for the test to work. Babel must also be left in place. Instructions: select the project you would like to complete from the drop down menu. So I would like to complete the tribute page. Click on the run test. The test against the blank pane. Click the test button to see the individual test cases. So these are the individual test cases. Should all be failing at first. Start coding. As you fulfill each test case, you will see them go from red to green. As you start to build out your project, when tests are failing, you should get helpful error along the way. Please note additional adding global styles rules using the asterisk selector or by adding rules to body or HTML or to all element within the body or HTML. For example, H1 has the potential to pollute the test suite CSS. Try adding asterisk color red for a quick example. If you run the test, so this is not. Once you have read the above message, you can delete all comment. If you delete all the comment, now delete all this, so clean up the project. Okay, so now the first thing what we have to do here is, I think what we have to do here is create a main component inside of which all of the component will be wrapped. So main component with the opening and closing tag, and the main should be given the unique ID of main. So after the main, we have to give the h1 tag. Okay, if you see the if you run the test and close the test, so my attribute should have the element with the corresponding ID, and I should see the title. So title inside h1 opening and closing h1 tag, it should be given the unique ID of title. So the title is Elon Musk, so you can see that here. Now we need the another element to describe some to give the code like structure or describe this page. Okay, close the page, so I can grab some text for that. Okay, I'm grabbing text for these two. These are the same thing. Now I can grab some, so we need figure opening and figure closing, and the figure should be given the unique ID of image div. We can also create here the div with the ID image div, but I'm creating a figure with the ID image div, and inside of this I need an image is self closing tag, and inside of image we need a unique image ID, unique image ID equal to image, so the source equal to, so I'm quickly grabbing the source for the image. So this is the image source. Now you can see the image, so this is an image. Now after that I am giving an alternative fallback text to this image, like I'm grabbing the alternative text fallback text for this image. So in case we do not have this image due to some error, you can see the alternative text. So undoing the thing, now we have the alternative text also. So I want to maintain the image here. So this is good. Why it did not work? So this image is working. Now after that we need a figure caption. So we have the element figure caption here. So figure caption opening and figure caption closing. So give the unique ID name image caption here. Now the figure caption text, I'm dragging the text here. So this is the figure caption text. Okay, so I'm saving all that. This is good. So I'm saving all that, which is good. All the thing is good. Now the figure is finished. The so you can see those similar demo like this. We have the Elon Musk and some these things, and the image after image we need this is the thing. So the first this figure is completed, figure image div is completed. So we'll be doing all of the HTML first, then we'll be styling the elements. So after that what we have to give, now we have to create this section of the timeline of the life, so up to the last. So we have to create the timeline. So for that we create another section, close the section, and inside the main only we are giving a section and give it the unique ID name of tribute. So if you run the test 6 10 pass, my tribute should be ID main, ID title. I should create either a figure or div element with a corresponding image div also created. Image div element should have an image element with the corresponding ID image. Within the image div I should see the fig caption or div with the corresponding ID image caption that contains textual content describing the image shown in image div. So I should see an element with the corresponding ID tribute info which contain textual content describing the subject of the tribute page. I should see an element with the corresponding ID which contain a string that describe the subject. Now what we have to do inside the section is give it an ID of tribute info, ID of tribute info like this, and inside of this we have to create this S3 element with the ID headline, okay, and the unordered list with the list including the strong bold text and the normal list text, okay, like this. So we have to create something like that. So we have to create S3 with the of headline and close the S3, and inside of S3 what we have to write is something like this. So something like this, ID here is a timeline of Elon Musk's life. So after this we have to create, so you can see this is the another section. Now we have to create the unordered list. Close the unordered list. Okay, now we have to keep the list inside the unordered list. Close the list. So inside the list we have to create one strong bold content like June for the date like 1971. So close the strong. Then we have to give the normal text. Okay, like this. I want to copy paste this. You can see the date is bold, and after that this is the simple normal text. So you have to create the ULIs like that. Okay, you have to create ULI like that. Now I have to create some more ULIs. So I'm grabbing those ULIs from quickly grabbing those ULIs. You can instead type also, but I'm grabbing those. So after this some more ULIs. So you can see up here. So we have created some more ULIs similar to this one, some more ULIs. Okay, so this is the one list, this is the another list, this is the another list. So this is the another list, this is the another list item, this is the another list item, this is the another list item, 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 another list item. Okay, after that, so we have completed the UL. Okay, after that what we have to do is, so we have completed till this. Now we have to include some the citation from the citation reference text. Okay, so for that what we have to do is use the element called block code. So block code, so the block code have the parameter called cite, inside of which we have to give the citation. So this is you can give like this citation, and inside of this block code, so close the close block code. Okay, close the block code. Now inside of this we have to give a paragraph tag. Close the paragraph tag. So and I'm quickly grabbing the paragraph text. So this is the paragraph text. Then after that we have to use the another element called cite to cite any portion. So close cite also. So inside of this we have to give the name of the person. So you can give like this: Donald Trump, 45th President of the United States. So I think this is also completed here. So block code is also completed. Now if you run the test, 7 out of 10 are completed. I should see an A element with a corresponding ID tribute link, which links to an outside site that contains additional information about the subject of the tribute page. Hint: you must give your element an attribute of target and set it to underscore blank in order for your link to open in a new tab. Target is equals to underscore blank. So for creating that, after the block code, you can give the S3 element, close the S3 element. So and here we have to give some tags like if you have time can you should read more about this incredible human being on his. Then we have to create an a tag with id the id tribute link, and we have the href tag inside the a tag which contains the source to the destination site, link to the destination site. So the href tag is something like that. So this is the href tag, and you should give now the target to open it in a new tab. Give the underscore blank, so this will open in a new. So now if you see up here what you see this S3 element. Now this A should be closed and the A should have the Wikipedia entry like this. Okay, now if you click this, it will open in a new tab. Now if you I'm quickly shading the S3 element prettier like this. This is using something like prettier, so it looks good. So like this, everything is good till now. I think if you run the test, 8 of the 10 are passed of the content section. Now we have to test the pass from the layout section, which are the image element should have a responsive resize relative to the width of the parent element without exceeding its original size. The image element should have centered with its parent. So these are the two which will be covering in the layout CSS section. Now I am adding some of the little features here, which is the same but the two links more. So after that, this is the another link to the Forbes, and this is the another link to the Elon Musk Twitter handle. This is to the Forbes, this is to the, if you see up here, so these are the two, like this you can see. So and now finally the section is also completed, so we can give like this. Now after the section we can give the footer open and footer close. Now in the footer also we have to give the element closed. Then after we have to give the strong credit. We have to give the strong credit and the href same like this. So I am quickly grabbing the p element. So like this, p element with the strong and the a tag with this my YouTube link. Okay, like this. So we have completed the HTML part. Now we are styling this full document. Okay, now we are styling the document. So first of all, what we have to select, what we have to style is the HTML, the full document here. So inside of this, what we can do is font size to 10 pixel. So these are the font size of 10 pixels. So this is setting a base font size of 10 pixel, which gives easier RAM calculation. So I'm quickly grabbing some notes for you. So this setting a base font size of 10 pixel gives us easier RAM calculation. Now 1 RAM is equals to 10 pixel, 1.5 RAM will be calculated as the 15 pixel, 2 RAM will be 20 pixel, 4 RAM will be 40 pixel. Okay, now after we have given the base to the HTML, base styling to the HTML, now giving the style to the body also. So in the body we have to give the font family. So font family is pretty long with the fallback fonts also. So in the first place it will be using the Apple system font. So Blink Max System, CGO, UI, Roboto, Albertica, New, Arial and Sans Serif are the fallback fonts which will be working if the consecutive upper font does not work properly. So this is some notes native font stack from https get bootstrap 4.2. Okay, from this link you can get the native font stack also, this stack of fonts. And so now you can give the font size of 1.6 RAM, which is 16 pixel. So these are body, the all elements inside the body are given the 16 pixel size. Now the line height, which create the height between the lines, separation height between two lines, line height equal to 1.5. So now the aligning the text center, text align centers, all the element now are, so text align center. Okay, text align center, so all the things inside the body are aligned to the center like this. Now color, so the color of the body is light gray color, so 333. So it changes the no, this is the color of the fonts. So this is also not the pure black but kind of light gray. Now we are using margin from outside the body to the HTML, so equal to 0. So this is all set. I'm quickly grabbing the prettier like structure here also. So this is good. Okay, this is good. Now for the h1 element, the first one h1 element, we can give the font size to for RAM, which is 40 pixel. Okay, which is 40 pixel, and the margin bottom should be degraded to 0. So like this. So after the font size, h1 tag styling, now we can do media query for the small screen sizes of max width of 464, max width of 460 pixels, and the less the h1 element should be font size of 3.5 RAM. Okay, for the small screen with the max width of 60 pixel and less, 3.5 gram, and the line height also is gradually decreased to 1.2, like this. So this thing you can see in this layout. So if it is 460 pixel or less, so after this it is changing the font size to 35 pixel of the h1 and the line height to the 1 point. So the line height to the the whole line height of the h1 element to 1.2 gram. So changing the view. Okay, now after the h1 element I can do the styling to the s2 element also. So inside of this, which one is the s2 element? We have s2 element here at the bottom, and so we have the s2 element. Where is the s2 element? So we have the s2 element in here. I have s2 element, s3, h1. Okay, h1, s3, s3, s3. So everything is s3 here. So we do not have the s3 element here, but if there is s2 element, we can give it the font size of 3.25 gram. So somewhere it has changed. If it does not have changed, so I think there is the s3 element which is working as s2. So if you see up here, change the view, editor view, so you can see where is the s2 of here. I think in the last this is the s2, not the s3. I think like that. So here also it is given the s2, but there is no s2 up there. This is s3, s3. s3, h1, no s3, but there is s2. What is this? So we can do similar to s2 equal to 3.25 gram. Okay, now we can give the a tags color of 477ca7, color of 477ca7. Okay, like this is the color 477ca7, and text decoration to undo the underline. You can do none, so the underline is removed. And now we can do a visited. After visiting the a tag, the color should be 74638. Yeah, so this is the color after visiting that. this. Okay, like this. Now these are the global stylings. Now we are getting into the main section. Okay, in the main section, what we have to do is the main select the ID by the hash symbol, and main should have the margin of 30 pixel from top and bottom and 8 pixel from left to right, like this. 30 pixel from top and the bottom and 8 pixel from left to right from the outside of the B, and the padding which is from inside is the 15 pixel. Okay, like this. So now we have to give the border radius of 5 pixels. So the border radius 5 pixels, this styling will be visible after you give the background of some gray color like this. So you can see the background. So this is the 30 pixel margin from top and 30 pixel margin from the bottom, 8 pixel from the left, 8 pixel from the right. So if you give here the 25 pixel, okay, like that. So this is the 8 pixel. 8 pixels. Now that the padding is there from the inside, so if you give the 5 pixel padding, okay, like that. If you give the 25 pixel like that. So we have to give here the 15 pixel padding, background radius. You can do the 550. So like this. This is the border radius. So we need the 5 pixel. After that, giving the media query again for the main section. Okay, for the main section, giving the media query as that name should change at the max width of 460 pixel and less. If the margin should be 0. So this is the important. The margin should be 0. If we change the view and in this, so if this is less, the margin should be 0. So the margin is 0 from all sides. Okay, margin should be 0. Padding is good. So the padding helps to space out the passive and active spaces around the element. So the main section is also done. The responsiveness is also done. Now the image responsive. So image should have the max width of 100% to completely fill out the div like this. Then display should be block. Okay, block display like that. Then the height should be auto. So height is auto height, and the margin should be 0 from top and bottom and auto from left and right, like this. So the image has been centered, I think, like this. If we run the test, 10 of 10 passed. The image element should be responsive resize relative to the width of the parent, so it is block without exceeding the original. Image element should be centered with the parent element, which is margin auto and the height auto. So this is computed, but again we need to give the styling to this image div. Okay, styling to the image div. What we have to do here is selecting that ID of image div, and inside of this background should be hashtag. This is the black, I think. Image div. So we can do all this and all of this. So this and this should be hashtag FFF. This is the background. So this is good. Background should be this, and the padding from all the corner should be, all size should be 10 pixel. So this is 10 pixel, and the margin should be 0. So there is no margin from the outside. Okay, like this. So now it looks good. Now giving styling to the image caption. So giving image this caption, what we can do is select that ID and give it the styling of margin top of 15 pixel, 0 left, 5 pixel bottom, and 0 right. So like this, 15 pixel from the top, 0 pixel from the left, 5 pixel from the bottom, and 0 pixel from the right. Now we have to give again the image caption, the media query. So image caption should be, the font size should be reduced to 1.4 RAM, okay, 14 pixel. So this looks good. Before it was 16 pixel. Now it looks good. So after that we have to give the headline. So we are now completed the upper part. Now we are in the section area in the tribute. So we have to style the headline text, which is the S3 element. So selecting the unique ID, headline, margin from top to bottom should be 50 pixel, and left to right 0 pixel, 50 pixel and 0 pixel, like this. Okay, like this. And then text align is center, but we can override this align center. So the text align center. Now we have to keep the styling to the ULs and the li. So first of all we are giving the style to the UL unordered list. So can give the max width to 550 pixel. Okay, so this is the max width of 550 pixel. The margin should be margin should be 0 from the top, auto from the left, 50 from the bottom, and auto from the right. So 0 from the top, auto from the left, 50 pixel from the bottom, and auto from the right, like this. So like this is the 50 pixel, this is the 0 pixel, because the headline has the margin 50 already, and the auto from the right to here only. Just so auto means just giving the margin to which is required for the content only. Now the text align to the left, like this. All the text is aligned to the left. So we can give the line height of 1.6. So this is 2.6, I will give 1.6. So this looks good. now now we have to give the li. So now we have to give the styling to the list itself. What we have to give list is the margin from top and bottom 16 pixel, left and right 0, 16 pixel and 0 pixel, like this. So from the they are separated like that. Clean, so this looks clean already. Wow, this looks clean. So in the last, what we can do is the style. So these allies are completely styled. So we can now do the block quote. So what we can do to block quote, this is the single one in the HTML. Now we can give the font style of italic. So these are italics, and the max width will be the same as max width is same as 545 pixel, like this. And the margin should be 0 pixel from top, auto from left, 50 pixel from bottom, and auto from right, like this. So this is good, and the text align should be left. So these are aligned to the left. So we have completed, I think, all of the styling to our site. Now this looks good, this looks amazing. We can change the full page view. So we can save this and save this. Okay, now we have saved. We change view to the full page view. So we need to verify the email. Gmail. There is something here. Verify. Why this? So click to verify. I think this is verified now. Editor view. Now if you run the test, all of the tests are fast. So change view, full page view. What is it? I've done that. So if you come up here, this is our project. If we open this, change this to the view. So what was the project? Build a tribute page. So we build the tribute page. So you can see up here also. Okay? This looks good. This looks good in all the pages. If this is small also, this looks good. So now give these all to work here. HTML, CSS, responsive web design, like that. So save and close. And save, change the view, full page view again. I have verified my email. What is it saying like that? So if you go to my profile, so if you get to my activity, so Gmail, you can go to the Gmail, click to verify. Is this? So I think this is. So change view, full page view. So this is to verify. Good. So this is the tag also. Now we got the license. So this is the license. Now this is good. Copy link, copied. Okay. View in editor. You paste in here. This is the same one. So change view, full page view, and here solution links will be paste here. I have completed this task. So this is the completion of the build of tribute page. Submit and go to the next project. So the next project is the build a survey form, which will be completing in the coming session. So I can show you my project, tribute page project. So this is the project. Like this looks awesome, guys. I think this looks awesome. So now we have completed up to the build of tribute page. Now other thing will be completing the other four. Now we are remaining the four projects. Other four projects. I can show you here. So we are remaining the build survey form, product landing page, technical documentation page, personal portfolio web page. So we will be covering these all topics in the coming individual videos. So until then, see you and complete the tutorials from the playlist, web design, responsive web design playlist, and complete this project, which is the, I think this is also a very good project. So you can practice your basic HTML CSS and complete the tutorials which I have completed, which I have done in the playlist.